Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am Dr. Nik Nikam. This is the story about more than 500,000 Kashmiri pandits who were systematically driven out of their places in Kashmir. They were subjected to torture and genocide. Let us get a reaction from the Houston audience, especially with some of the relatives of the victims who were involved in the Kashmir massacre. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am with a bunch of friends who have come here to support Kashmir Files. Could you please identify yourself and
Yes.
tell us what inspired you to come to this movie and what you expect to see?
Yes, so
Yeah.
myself, I'm Amit Raina.
Amit
I
Raina,
am a
yeah.
Kashmiri Hindu myself,
I see, yeah.
and I am one of the few fortunate survivors of
Yeah.
that genocide that happened
Yeah.
in 1989-1990.
Okay.
I was a 9-year-old kid when I saw this happening. So this movie is
Let's look at
basically,
this, yeah.
what do you call, a painful but truthful
Yeah.
narration of that untold story, which
Yeah.
was never shown
Yeah.
to the main media.
I
It was
see, yeah.
always hidden. But we give salute to our makers, Mr. Agnihotri ji
Yes.
and Pallavi Joshi, who took this bold step. It took them almost 4 to 5 years, 700 plus testimonials, 5,000 hours of research, videos, and all of that. And finally, they came up with this
That's
project.
right.
And this is
Come on in and could you identify yourself and tell us?
My name is Karan Reddy.
Yeah, can you come?
Here because
Yeah.
of my friend.
Oh, that's
And also,
wonderful.
We heard so many stories about the Kashmir, but we came to know the reality of whatever
Yeah.
has happened and happening now with this movie.
unfortunately
So-
after 32 years of
Yeah.
it
How about you?
Rajesh Patel.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I've been in touch with a few Kashmiri folks from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let
It's
me ask
more
you.
of an awareness campaign.
I know. Let me
now,
ask you a
right?
question. What do you think will be a logical solution? It's unfathomable to think that 400,000 Kashmiris have been displaced 30 years. That is so many years after
500,000.
500,000 after India's independence. And how could this happen in the largest democratic country? And what do you suggest is the solution?
Solution. I'm not an expert, but what this movie at least will do, it will kick off the healing process.
Yeah.
So first of all, we need acknowledgement from our fellow
Yes.
friends that this has happened, because 90% of people they didn't even know about
Yeah.
it. So this starts that healing process, and it gives us a closure to our wounds that okay,
Yes, that's
people are
right, yeah.
accepting. And a long-term solution. I mean, 370 has been abrogated. That was step one.
Yeah.
But after that, they had to look at a bigger picture, how they can basically balance.
Do you think the Indian government should have done more, or should they be doing more at this time?
They are doing. They are doing. They are working towards it.
Oh,
And
okay,
we're
that's good.
hopefully-
Yeah.
we are happy with that.
Well, I'm glad to talk to someone who has been directly involved, because I have Kashmiri friends who are close friends in family circle who have posted their pictures of the house they lived in.
So
And
I want to introduce
hi,
you guys. This
Dr.
is our
Nik Nikam, come on in, please.
community,
Yeah.
volunteer, and she's a first-hand experience.
Okay, tell us about your story about this Kashmir Pandits and what do you expect to see in this movie. And as I asked him, I want to know what do you think is the solution?
Well, that's a very tough question right now. What's the solution?
Yes.
But definitely, I have watched movie twice.
Yes.
One was when we had the road show in US back in December. Our road show in Houston was 30th December, and then I went to watch again when it got released on 11th March. And how I am connected with the movie because I am having the first-hand experience of the genocide. My father was brutally assassinated. He was shot, he was murdered, and he was cut into pieces actually. And his body was thrown on one of the near one of the institutes in Srinagar. So that is my first-hand experience. What we are trying to tell through this movie, first of all, kudos to our director, Mr. Vivek Agnihotri, his entire team, that they gave us this movie, and it's a form of telling everyone that if genocide can happen to one peace-loving community who never picked guns, only believed in education, education their children, it can happen to any part of the world, it can happen to any community.
And it's happening, right?
Yes, I
And it's
understand.
happening.
Yes.
We are just causing the awareness, there is no other motive behind it, it's just like the awareness, okay, this has happened,
Yes.
now
You-
let's come forward, let's be united and...
You're right. I think
collectively-
Vivek Agnihotri has done a tremendous job bringing
Yeah.
this to the world scene, where, as you can see by the reflection of the response all over the world, as how much attention it has drawn. And now the next thing is, wars do happen, people do die, and where do we go from here?
This basically is our Schindler's List.
Yeah.
So nobody has spoken
That's
about
true.
what has happened to us. So this is the
Well,
first.
I think this is a
There
great.
have been 9
Yeah.
movies on Kashmir, but those are all like politically correct. And,
Yeah,
those
I know.
This is the
That's
first
why I was saying,
real
I was asking the question, do you think the Indian government has done, or does it need to do something more concrete?
They need to do a lot. They need
Yeah.
to do something concrete, and we are hopeful with our Modi, Prime Minister Modi, government, Amit
Yes.
Raina. We are very hopeful, and we request them actually to help.
Many years
us.
ago, there
Yeah.
was a Mission Kashmir movie, but there was nothing about it.
So if you see any
Yeah.
prior
Okay.
Kashmir movie, it's mostly based
Okay.
on
Oh, Sahana, come on in, come on in.
She can give you some sort
Okay, hello. Sahana, I know we are friends, Facebook and also Sanskrit. Sahana, okay, so nice to see you, and I see lots of your posts getting tremendous response in the social media, and we're delighted that you are supporting these Kashmiri files. Tell us, what do you know about the Kashmiri pandits, and what do you expect to see in the movie, and what suggestions you have?
Of course, I think we all.
Can you come a little bit
I have known about the
Yeah.
Kashmiri Pandit exodus because I was in Delhi at the time.
I see.
And I was following the news very closely, so it was always very emotional for me. So it's not that this movie made me aware of the events, so I was always aware. But yes, the brutality came out more strongly. I've seen the movie
Yes.
once. I've come again to see it. So the brutality of what the Kashmiri Pandits went through,
Yes.
it just leaves an imprint in the mind, and also because I have been writing about India's educational heritage, I also know about the damage that was done to the education, because
Yeah.
Kashmir was a center of education for India.
That's true. Yeah, I remember reading the history and all this, where a lot of these intellectuals actually
Yes, yes,
originated
yes.
from
Intellectuals.
Kashmir. Yeah.
And even earlier, if you go back during the rule of
Yeah.
Surender Kaul, he destroyed so many books, he destroyed
Ah,
the
yes.
guild of scholars, so all that was coming to me. This is the story of every Hindu, you could say.
That's
So-
true.
So it's very painful, and it's very
It's so unfortunate, even to this day, after 30 years, people are still living in exile in the most democratic country. I cannot imagine how it could be possible. And what do you think should be done?
No, this is a sign that we have taken things, we have not really registered
Yeah.
all the brutalities and ensured that it doesn't happen again. So
Absolutely,
we have allowed
yes.
this to happen, and we have not come together as a people to support those who were slaughtered and those
Yes.
who were pushed out of Kashmir. And by the way, it's happening in many other parts of India as well.
That's true.
So I think this.
In fact, I
shows,
just spoke to a gentleman from Sindh. The whole entire community has been, brutalized.
So it's Sindhi refugees who are now in Rajasthan. I've been working for them. So this same pattern is repeated again and again, and then we don't come together as a people to say never again, right? So this movie
Yeah.
has brought that feeling.
Well, I'm glad, you're joined, and hopefully maybe we'll talk to you after you have seen the movie and see what your reaction is. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
To build a context of this movie so that you know very well what you are going to watch. And let me ask Amit Raina to start the proceeding of this screening. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for coming here. We are so humbled and honored that you are part of this movie screening today. First of all, I would like to request Dr. Surender Kaul, who is co-founder of GKPD and a KP activist, to say a few words. Dr. Kaul. One more thing I wanted to do, let everyone know that the Kashmir Files, the movie which you are going to watch shortly, Dr. Surender Kaul has been involved in this movie directly. He had envisioned this idea of something to be brought to a bigger screen, and he was introduced to the movie director and writer of the movie, Mr. Vivek Agnihotri ji, through some common friends, Mr. Pramod Borawali ji and Mr. Anand Srivastava ji. Dr. Kaul, since he had this vision, so he requested Mr. Vivek Agnihotri ji if something could be made for the genocide, if he thinks it's right. So Mr. Vivek Agnihotri ji did, I think Dr. Kaul will tell about the remaining himself. So Dr. Kaul, please.
First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this screening. This movie that you are going to watch is being screened all over the globe in almost 5,000 screens. And the people are getting connected with this movie because this is a movie is a human story. It is about the story of global terrorism, how it impacts human lives and destroys communities. Now, I would like to tell everyone that I am an indigenous Kashmiri with more than 5,000 years of documented history and the valley of Kashmir. Now, Kashmir always have had a very tumultuous history, and I just want to tell you that Kashmiri Hindus have been a small minority in the only Muslim majority state, erstwhile state of India. The tenets of this community has been universal brotherhood, compassion, benevolence, caring and sharing, and pursuit of knowledge. And these people have always contributed immensely in the modern India and also have immensely contributed towards the development of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, which is now the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So this is a story that you are going to watch about the genocide and ethnic cleansing that happened in independent India, and the world remained silent. Nobody knows about it. So our pursuit was to bring this human story of grave magnitude, wherein we want to showcase how this global terrorism is a threat to humanity. Now, as this small minority community became victim of genocide and ethnic cleansing, they spread all across the globe. Because this community is very well read, has never reciprocated violence with violence. There is not even a single history of Kashmiri Pandit or Hindu attacking anybody of any other faith. And that is the strength we want to showcase to the whole world, that violence has no role in a civilized society. We all have to contribute towards its civility. We have to uplift mankind. That's why we in different ways have been trying to uplift the mankind. So the disclaimer is that this is the movie, the objective of this movie was to showcase the story of the minorities in Kashmir and what happened with them. There has been a lot of Muslims in Kashmir also who became victims of this terrorist saga because they wanted to tell them that you are wrong. So this is our story, but there has been lots of Muslims who also became victims of these killings. What I mean to say, this is a very sensitive topic, and we don't want to send any message that if this movie is about any community. We respect all religions, we respect all human beings, because for us, humanity is the biggest service, and that is what it is. So I would like to further request Amit Raina ji to build a small context, then Anjali Raina ji just in a couple of minutes, and then we are going to start the movie. Amit Raina ji, please start.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for sharing your afternoon with us. Well, what you're going to see here on this 70mm screen today is basically painful yet truthful, untold story of the 5,000 years plus aboriginal inhabitants of that sacred land, that heaven on earth called Kashmir, who were systematically cleansed. Ethnicity was cleansed. They were forced to leave. They were culturally uprooted from where they have been living for so long. So this movie basically is just an initiation. We are expecting it will start the healing process for our victims. I, along with my few other community member here, we have been the first-hand survivors of this genocide, this ethnic cleansing. So all we are expecting here is to create an awareness that if it has happened to us, it can happen to you. And if we see the world now, it's already happening at a lot of places. So this movie is not against any sect or anything. It's just to build up a awareness thing, and hopefully now people will start acknowledging the fact that what happened to us back in 1989-90. Thank you.
Thank you, Amitji. Now, briefly, Anjali ji, you can just speak. I would like to mention about Anjali ji. She is also the way working to uplift mankind. She is the victim of this genocide. Her father was killed brutally, and you'll be seeing that the body was chopped into pieces. So, Anjali ji, you can speak just 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll go on.
Thank you, Dr. Kaul. Yes, this movie really is based on testimonials and 700 testimonials across the globe, which movie director collected, going from house to house, and I was one of them. This journey started 4 years ago back in Houston, and I gave my testimony, just letting you all know that my father was a victim of genocide, ethnic cleansing. He was brutally murdered in Kashmir in 1990, 24 June, and his body was cut into pieces and thrown into gunny bags in one of the medical institutes. And we could not even see him, we could not even say goodbye to him, and we could not even cremate him. He was cremated by the Kashmir police then, and we were only given the ashes. Without wasting anyone's time, I would like, I think we are ready to watch this movie, and the movie will talk about itself, and you will yourself see like what we have gone through, and it will give a good, I think that's it. Right, thanks.
So, a few more things about this movie. This movie took 4 years of research, and we have been the intellectual, logistic, and research partner. We have not taken any penny from this movie. We have not also invested even a single penny in this movie. So that is the movie. Our thing was to request the director and provide him all the logistic support. So we facilitated around 700 testimonials all around the globe that the director and the actor Vivek Agnihotri and his wife Pallavi Joshi went all over the globe to collect the testimonials of 700 people who have been the first-hand victims of this genocide. So they came to US, they came to Canada, went to UK, New Zealand, Australia, and all the parts of the country where these victims have been living. Additionally, this movie has taken tons of research, so it is completely 100% accurate movie. So I just want you now remain focused. I know some of the scenes are graphic, but you will see firsthand what happens. So let's get started, and thank you so much. Let me begin. This is the story of peace-loving community who have never reciprocated violence with violence. May I request everyone to stand up for just a minute and light your cell phone light for just 30 seconds to pay honor to all the persecuted communities belonging to all religions, Muslims, Christians, Hindus who are going through this. Kindly light your cell phone flashlight for just 30 seconds in honor of humanity, in honor us in this movie. This is not a movie for us. It's a message to the world on behalf of all the persecuted communities in the world, belonging to any and all religions, happening in any part of the globe. I know this is a part of the history that remained hidden for last 32 years, but similar things are happening in other parts of the globe. So it is to educate all the whole global representatives, politicians, policymakers about the impact of global terrorism on human lives. I know we have many representatives, officials here. They would like to make statement. Kindly be seated, kindly be seated. And before we do that, I would first of all like to thank immensely Mr. Amit Raina, who just pulled in this show for all of us. Oh, he just announced that, thank you. So give him a big hand. I know this is not the time for giving big hand. I would like to invite Ramesh Butadaji, who is a community leader here and has immensely served the community, the Indo-American friendship, the Indo-American relationships for decades altogether. He has been a big supporter of the communities and has immensely contributed to that. I would like to immensely thank him for being here with us, especially that your health is not good, and despite that you came here. And on behalf of the team Kashmir Files, I would like to give you the same locket that Shiva was wearing. It is a locket, and I think you are the right, you deserve it. So this is the locket that the Shiva, the child, was wearing in the movie, and I would like to hand it over to Ramesh Butadaji. Thank you so much for your continuous support for the community. And just for 1 minute, if you'd like to convey.
To be perfectly honest with you, Dr. Kaur, I really don't deserve the locket as much as what you have suffered, the community has suffered. It has been really, this is the second time I'm watching this movie. And every time I watch, it sinks deeper into me. I think the sacrifices, जिसको हम हिंदी में बलिदान कह सकते हैं, the sacrifices the Kashmiri Hindus have made, finally it has dawned on me that it hasn't gone in vain. What has happened in India and what is happening around the world is people are finally realizing that terrorism, any kind of violence, does not lead to peace. Only way you can promote peace in this world is by willing to live with people with different ideologies, different thought processes, and have that tolerance. I think this movie has really awakened. I think all of you are probably aware what this movie has done in India. The movie has made the Hindu community aware of itself, what they need to be, where they need to be vigilant about that. So this movie has really achieved a lot, and a lot of credit for that goes to Dr. Surender Kaul. He is the one who really inspired Dr. Vivek Agnihotri to make this movie. I will also like to take this opportunity to really mention about my friend Pramod and his friend Anand, who had really given the original script of this movie. They all belong in Houston, and they are here, I believe. Pramod is at least here, if he can acknowledge himself. Who introduced Dr. Agnihotri to Dr. Surender Kaul. And that is how the origin of the movie started, and Dr. Kaul took it from there, introduced to the worldwide Kashmir community, and that is how this movie was born. So I think that's why I said, I really don't deserve this. I hardly did anything. Only thing I did was just a little bit, whatever in the end. But really, I think you had done a great service for honoring all of us to be here and to make aware of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh. You have always been the leader of the community. I know that Jennifer, you want to make a statement?
My name is Jennifer Knezik, and I serve on the board at the Korean Community Center in Houston, and we all have stories. And it was so powerful to see this today. And I think Fort Bend County especially was special because this is really a snapshot of what it's like to live neighbor to neighbor and to honor and to live beside each other. And this was just super powerful, and I'm really honored to be included today. So thank you so much. And I think you should spend your days communicating the power of hope.
Dan, Matthew, you want to make a statement?
Thank you, Dr. Surender Kaul, Amit, and all the people, the organizers of this movie, the directors. This movie tells the untold stories of the violence in the Kashmir and other parts of the world, feeling the same, experiencing the same. Let me tell you, the civilization has no room for hatred. Civilization has no room for terrorism. Everyone has the right to live, pursue happiness, life, liberty, and pursue happiness. That is what humanity means. The language of humanity is love. That's what we all pursuing for. This movie is an eye-opener to many people around the world that, the ethnic violence, cleansing, hatred, terrorism, all is not good for the humankind.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Bill Newman, and my wife and I are here as guests for Vijay Balad and Ramesh. And I will tell you that I had no idea what had transpired through the history here, and it was quite eye-opening, and it will take a little bit to digest it. It was extremely devastating, and I can tell you that my wife and I will do everything we can to spread the word.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have Shakira from Afghanistan. We have a lot of Muslims also watching this movie. As I said, that this is not against any religion. We love and respect every religion.
I lost 400 family members of my own in one night in a single grave. They were all alive when they were buried. And recently, what happened with Taliban, I lost a lot of my friends, simple people, journalists, human rights activists, women's rights activists. So I have deeply been affected by terrorism. This movie was very hard for me to watch because I watched it very closely as a child. And recently I watched it again. And for the past 4 months, I've been working with the refugees. And it was very, very difficult to see little girls, women, men in bombing and other explosive. That some of them in the Kabul bombing, I sent 50 of my family members and friends there. I still haven't heard from them. So this was very hard to watch. But when I say terrorism is a global issue, and when you close your eyes on one, you're closing your eyes on all. And people that watch terrorism are just as guilty as those that do it. No person should sit silently. We all fight this every day. What happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Kashmir, what happens in India, what happens everywhere. The effect of it you see in Ukraine right now. You do not invade other people. Nobody has the right to tell anyone what religion to practice. No one. We should all be able to practice what we want and live freely. This is a human right. We all are humans. This planet belongs to the future of our children. For our children, we must get rid of hate. We must not teach our children hate. We must not teach our children that just because somebody is simply different color, different ethnicity, different faith, that we don't respect them. Respect is the only thing that all humans deserve. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for hearing your story. We have Mr. Mahato from Pakistan. Actually, he would like to make some comments.
Thank you, everyone. I am not from Pakistan. I am from Sindh. My country is Sindh. It was occupied by Pakistan. Convert, leave or die. What happened in Kashmir? What happened in Bangladesh? Now it is happening in Sindh with us. We are the real owners of that land. the land of Shiv and Shakti, the land of Indus River, the land of Sindhu civilization. But since Pakistan has did this terrorism everywhere, every day one Hindu girl is abducted in our area. She is forced to convert. She is forced to get married to anyone who is older at age of 50 or 60. So I have supported this project since when it was started. When Agnihotri ji came here, I requested him that kindly make one file for Sindh also. So the girls which are abducted over there, the persecution of minorities over there should be stopped. It is still continuing over there. Every day I am watching. So what you watch today, I am facing it every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think towards the end, I would like to name few people who worked very hard for the screening. And as I said, the man of the show, Mr. Amit Raina, who disturbed his sleep day and night for putting this event together. Thank you so much, working so hard. Anjali Raina, yeah, everybody would like to see you. Anjali Raina ji, she, yeah, come here. And as I said previously, that see the smile on her face, and her dad was chopped into pieces in 1990s in Kashmir. But still, see, no hate, no hatred, just smile and just working. That is the force that's keeping us going. Sunita Tikubanji, please stand up. Yes, she worked very hard. Again, she's another example of the victim of this genocide who lost her two family members, first-degree family members back there. And she is serving mankind. She is serving humanity. Thank you so much. I would like to thank Vijay Palochi, who has been very instrumental in helping all of us write for so many months. Thank you so much for your support. Achalesh Amarji. Achalesh Amarji is a person. Achalesh, can you please come here? No, you have to come here. He is a pillar. He is such a dynamic personality who has been very supportive. His mom was sick in India, and despite his mom was sick, he was busy helping in this whole, because we had 16 screenings in December, November of last year, and Houston was one of them. And besides 26 impact screenings in various universities and including Capitol Hill, now this whole movie has become a blockbuster all over the globe, and more than 5,000 screens, and hundreds and thousands of people have watched and still watching. This is the 4th week of this movie all over the globe, and it is still running and rocking. That is how strong the human stories are, irrespective of any caste, creed, religion, color, ethnicity. People get connected because we are, after all, humans. So, thank you, Achalesh Amarji. Pramod ji, thank you so much. Come here, Pramod Buravali ji, Anand Srivastav ji, please, Ashutosh Kar ji, everybody, Niharika, they all worked very hard. Thank you so much. If I might have missed Amit ji, someone, can you please? Sudipta, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're just there. Sudipta, thank you so much for your hard work. With this, I once again thank you for coming and standing with us, standing with humanity.